Hey everyone, it's baze.djunkiii from Hamburg, Germany, back with a new video. And well, as announced yesterday, I am back with a quick announcement video, something you might not have been seen coming, I guess, well, here we go. As you know, I've been involved in doing label stuff forever, basically. Launched my own label, Introducing Recordings, like back in 1999, followed by Introducing Tapes a few years later, and a few other labels you've seen come to fruition here on my channel and stuff. And you know, I've worked for several labels, but something I've not been talking about much, because the label has been defunct for ages, is that I was involved in a label that was called Rudel Records back in the mid-2000s. The label was originally launched by Donna Maya, a close friend of mine, also a DJ, like an Ableton teacher as well, producer and stuff, and we've known each other for a long time. I've lived with her and her boyfriend for a while, and for reasons, and well, in the mid-2000s she decided to launch her label Rudel Records, and after a while she asked me to join her as a head of the label, kind of. Well, she still had the leading role, but I was like assisting her a lot, and like we did things together and toured and worked with a hip hop band. And first release was a drum and bass thing, and the second release is a more experimental drum and bass dark jungle record I will be talking about in a minute. And the third one, when I split from the label again because I stayed in Hamburg, she moved to Berlin, and like working in two cities didn't work out for us, was more of a like German speaking kind of tango electro thing, and then the label defunct after a while. So, and at the same time I was writing, as I still am, a lot of record reviews, and I received an album by a band from Washington that was called Ostinato. I guess it was from Washington. That was released on the Exile on Mainstream label, like a famous post-punk, post-rock, not post-punk, more post-rock label, post-rock and stuff. And I really loved the album. And I saw the band play live in Hamburg and at the Tanzhalle, I guess, at that point. And interestingly, a few days later, I went for a DJ set a few weeks later, I went to a DJ set to Esslingen, where I played, I guess, drum and bass at the time. Esslingen is a town like 20 minutes from Stuttgart by train, so down south in Germany, and the location was called Komma. And I saw, before I headed there, that the band Ostinato was about to play there one day before I was meant to DJ there. So I asked the promoter if I could come one day earlier, see the band again, and I had a good chat with the drummer, Matthew, and we were like, well, they had a lot of like interesting beat influences in their music and stuff, and we stayed in touch, had a like long chat, about an hour, about music and stuff, and we came up with the idea, why not do a remix for the band, which we agreed upon with a deal and stuff. But what happened was, well, they recorded, as he told me, all the stuff in one take, like on one basic track. So it's like not splitting up the guitar and the drums and all that other stuff into like multi-track, but they had it all done in one take on one track, so live recording. And they had to reprocess the track we were talking about. There was Anti-Aircraft, which was the one we came to remix. It took a while until they sent us the single tracks they had reprocessed. So there was like a drum part by Matthew, halftime drums. There was like epic guitars that sound very Morricone-like and stuff. And we had like some saxophones in there as well, like some free jazz saxophone thing, which is super interesting. So, and we were like, okay, what we're gonna do with that? We do a remix and stuff, and we decided, like, me and Maya did the remix for that in her studio. She was like back in the day operating on the name DJ Dakat, and we did that record, and we decided where to put it out on vinyl, backed by another track by DJ Dakat, Maya's alias at the time, that was called Fake Democracy, the Rattlesnake Mix. And we put that out on vinyl, but we never had a proper distribution for the label. We operated from our website, from the record store I worked at, and like when we played gigs and stuff, but we never had like a big distribution thing. That happened all around 2008. And now we're in 2025. And what happened is that Maya came to Berlin and found a few boxes of that release in her basement. So we knew there were some around, but we never thought about that much because, well, a lot of time has passed. We moved on, like we're still good friends and stuff. We're still in touch regularly, but well, we moved on in different directions, and the label has like is defunct. So basically, we were not thinking about that record too much over a long period of time. But now, as I have a day job at the vinyl distribution warehouse, and I got some releases lined up, I got my labels in check. We decided well what to do with those records, and the decision was made that we're bringing it back. We're not relaunching Rudel records for no means, but what we got here is a 12-inch, the second one on the Rudel Records label, which is now on pre-sale with the distributor I work at. So we are bringing back a classic, and this is the A side. This is the Ostinato Anti-Aircraft, the Damp Silence After Summer Rain remix by baze.djunkiii and deathambient on the A side. And this is deathambient Fake Democracy, the Rattlesnake mix. The original pressing, I guess, was about 300 copies back then. 75 of those we rediscovered. There might be more, but I'm not too sure if we ever like retrieve them from that kind of basement in Berlin. And yeah, that is back. It will not be available via my BANDCAMP because this is not Introtrin Recordings related. This was a totally different operation. But it will be available via record stores and online vendors worldwide like Juno, I guess, DJ.de, Dix, HHV, and all those vendors, and I guess some international vendors as well. There are only 75 copies of this, so at the moment I don't think we have like a lot more, maybe some sitting around at some point, but the 75 are the only ones we got, also available from Discogs, of course, and from my Discogs. And we're bringing that back. And instead of doing a needle drop here, because, well, this will be like getting the camera off, filming my turntables and stuff, I will link to a SoundCloud track that has been sitting on my SoundCloud for ages, with the entire track to listen to, the entire remix we did for Ostinato in like low bit quality as SoundCloud does. I guess like 125 or 28 kilobit and stuff, but you will get the idea of what this is all about. This is not a regular drum and bass. It starts out with a halftime sequence, like very hip-hoppy, beaty, then turns into jungle. Has some epic, like Morricone-esque guitars, a long breakdown, and then some jazz sequences in the end. And the B side by deathambient, the Rattlesnake mix of Fake Democracy, is more of a experimental drum and bass meets dark jungle tune, very swampy, kind of very highly percussive, high energy, but not that regular drum and bass you will like think of like Metalheads or Loxy and Ink or whatever that is. So it's more for those who are into experimental stuff. There's also live bass playing on the B side, so this is like also an interesting thing for those who are into live music and like proper live jazzy bass stuff. And yeah, we're bringing that back just as an intermediate shot in the dark, kind of after 17 years after the label has been forgotten, after the record has been kind of forgotten, but now we are like willing or like able to share this again to a new generation of music lovers again as a Berlin basement find, kind of. And this will be distributed, and I know that of the 75 copies, I guess 20 or 25 are already gone, so be quick if you like this. Check out that SoundCloud link there down below and enjoy, basically. But Rudel Records, a blast from the past, from 17 years ago. If you are interested, go and get this one. This is probably your last chance you'll ever see this out in the wild. So baze.djunkiii out. Thank you for listening. Check out that track, leave me a like, leave me a comment, and buy a copy if you like. I'm out.